You've probably heard the saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. While humorous, this captures a profound truth about our relationship with divine purpose. Many believers struggle with surrendering control, trying to manipulate or direct God's plans for their lives. Isaiah declared, "My thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, says the Lord." This isn't just poetic language, but a fundamental truth about how God operates. His purposes often unfold in ways that confound human wisdom and challenge our need for control. Think about Abraham, told to leave everything familiar for an unknown destination. Consider Joseph, whose path to purpose led through a pit and prison. Look at Mary, whose yes to God completely altered her life plans. Each discovered the futility of trying to control God's purposes. Understanding why we can't control God's plans doesn't limit us, it liberates us. When we stop trying to manipulate divine purpose, we position ourselves to experience God's best. Like water flowing around rocks, His purposes accomplish more when we stop trying to direct them. Today we'll explore 5 profound reasons why attempting to control God's plans not only fails, but often delays His perfect purpose for our lives. Reason 1, God's plans operate on a different time scale. Isaiah reminds us that 1,000 years to God is like a day. We think in terms of days, weeks, and years, while God works in terms of generations and epochs. When we try controlling divine timing, we're like children trying to speed up plant growth by pulling on stems. We often damage what God is carefully cultivating. Consider Moses, who tried fulfilling God's plan 40 years too soon. His attempt to deliver Israel through human timing led to exile. God's perfect plan required 4 decades of preparation He couldn't understand at the time. Our attempts to control divine timing often reveal our limited perspective. Reason 2, God's plans involve people and circumstances beyond our influence. Like a master chess player seeing 20 moves ahead, God orchestrates multiple lives and situations simultaneously. Joseph couldn't have orchestrated the complex series of events that led him to save nations. His attempts at controlling his destiny would have disrupted God's intricate plan. Your life intersects with countless others in God's purpose. That delay you're trying to overcome might be God synchronizing your timing with someone else's preparation. That closed door you're trying to force open might be protecting you from arriving before other essential pieces are in place. Think of Esther's story. The timing of her rise to power required countless events she couldn't control. Vashti's decision, Haman's plot, Mordecai's discovery of assassination plans. Trying to control any part would have disrupted the perfect orchestration of God's purpose. Even Jesus submitted to the Father's timing. "My hour has not yet come," He often said. If the Son of God yielded to divine timing, how much more should we trust God's perfect schedule? Our attempts at control often reveal our lack of trust in God's wisdom. Reason 3, God's plans often require our weakness, not our strength. Paul learned this through his thorn in the flesh. Despite his attempts to control the situation through prayer, God revealed that divine power works best through human weakness. Our attempts to control often stem from relying on our strengths rather than God's power. When we're strong, capable, and in control, we tend to credit ourselves for success. But God often puts us in situations beyond our ability, specifically to demonstrate His power. Moses at the Red Sea, Gideon with a reduced army, David facing Goliath. Each situation required surrendering control to see God's power. Reason 4, God's plans are multi-purpose. While we focus on our individual benefit, God works on multiple levels simultaneously. The storm that threatened the disciples also tested their faith, demonstrated Jesus' power, and provided a testimony that still teaches believers today. Our attempts to control situations often focus on personal comfort, while God pursues greater purposes. Think of Job. While he sought to understand and control his circumstances, God was proving Satan wrong, teaching spiritual truths that would encourage millions, and developing Job's character. When we try controlling outcomes, we often interfere with God's broader purposes. Reason 5. God's plans require faith development. Hebrews 11 shows how faith grows through situations beyond our control. Abraham's faith developed by following God's unclear directions. Noah's faith grew by building an ark without seeing rain. Our attempts to maintain control often stunt our faith's development. Faith muscles strengthen when we can't see the full picture but trust God anyway. Like spiritual resistance training, uncertainty develops deeper trust. Our attempts to control everything actually weaken our faith rather than strengthen it. Understanding these reasons transforms how we view God's plans. Instead of trying to control outcomes, we learn to trust His perfect orchestration. Like a masterpiece being painted, our role is to stay on the canvas, not grab the artist's brush. Surrendering control doesn't mean becoming passive. Rather, it means actively cooperating with God's direction instead of trying to force our own. It's the difference between struggling against the current and learning to swim with divine flow. Remember, God's seemingly random paths often lead to perfect destinations. Joseph's pit led to a palace. Daniel's lion's den led to promotion. Mary's social scandal led to history's greatest honor. What looks like chaos from our perspective is often divine choreography. Learn to recognize signs of trying to control God's plans: anxiety about timing, manipulation of circumstances, resistance to unexpected changes. Each of these reveals areas where we need to develop deeper trust in God's wisdom. Has understanding these reasons helped you identify areas where you're trying to control God's plans? How has surrendering control led to unexpected blessings? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story might help others learn to trust God's perfect plan. If this message has helped you understand God's ways better, don't forget to like this video and share it with others learning to trust God's plan. Subscribe to our channel, Blessed by Jesus, for more insights into walking with God. Explore our other videos about trusting God's perfect timing. Together, let's learn to surrender control and experience His perfect plan.